Hi and welcome to Eurosatory 2026 here in Paris. My name's James Fade for Soldier Modernisation TV. This is the DTC stand. On my left is Andrew Dobson, who's VP of Military Tech. Good to see you, sir.
You too. What's it been, 6 months?
I think it's been 6 months.
Another trade show?
Yeah, another trade show, another chance to see what's going on at DTC. Anything changed? I presume lots of things have moved.
It has, and I think we spoke about challenges 6 months ago and what those challenges were, and what the market looked like, and I think that continues to evolve, as you imagine. And back then, I think I was talking about the importance of having a true software-defined radio and the importance of multi-waveform strategy, and I think those things haven't changed, but they've moved again. The goalposts have moved again.
Yeah, because I think even then we were talking about pace of development, and it's ratcheted up again, because presumably the demands that are coming back to you and that you're hearing from the front line are, we need stuff quicker.
And it's not just getting the elements quicker to the front line, it's also the development of the feature sets. Yeah. So we're now in a development cycle of around about 2 weeks, and then we release those features to the rest of the world every sort of 3 months, which is a step change for military, the way the military operate. And it puts pressures on every part of the business and supply chain.
Yeah, so we're just responding to demands that are coming through. I think one of those demands relates to an area that perhaps doesn't get talked about or thought about enough, and that's in the supply chain area rather than from.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite well known now there's an international shortage of silicon, and so we have to balance very effectively, and so do the other vendors on where they can have the biggest impact with those devices. And it's seeing huge backlogs, it's seeing demand spikes, and creating an inventory problem globally.
Yeah.
And so things aren't going to slow down. We just have to manipulate what we can do differently.
Yeah. And one of those developing areas that what a few people will talk about is human and
machine teaming.
Machine teaming is what I'm trying to say. But we've seen that in a few different areas now, not just at the front line.
Yeah, I think our strengths were always supporting UAVs, so airborne vessels, and now we're seeing it more move to the ground, and not just single management of devices, but actually getting those things to feel part of the team. So augmenting the team in terms of overhead surveillance, or even further back, as you described, carrying materiel to and from the front line, because that is equally as vulnerable as what it is to be a forward line of troops.
Yeah. Are we? While we're sat here talking, in another part of France is the G7 meeting going on. I think nothing maybe illustrates some of the uncertainty that might be going on in the world that's leading to the development of people perhaps wanting to hold on a little bit to the development of products in their own country. Are you seeing that?
We are, and that's termed largely as called sovereignty, whether it's data sovereignty or hardware sovereignty, where there's this reluctance to share. And I think it's understandable in the positions they're in. They want to keep their things their own and develop them themselves. But it does create a stovepipe. And what we're offering as DTC is something that enables sovereignty, that enables localization, so they can keep the things that are important to them, whether that's encryption or whether it's the waveform, and allow them to build something around that. And still have the same impact without having to build a whole new technology stack.
Yeah. So you provide the platform, and then they can take it into their own country and deal with it from there.
And if required, build it in their own country as well.
You will build it in their own country.
Yes, absolutely. The IP ownership is retained, and then elements are localized that fit that market and for that customer.
Wow. Okay. Great. Lots and lots to go into on that, and I can feel the energy that having to deal with that pace of change at the moment.
I mean, for me, operational support is a real challenge. So I have to try and make platform agnostic solutions that can be developed locally or can have an alternate hardware solution further down the line. And we're seeing that repeated in every nation that we visit or every place in the world where there may be tension, because they need a backlog of inventory that allows them to support not just any immediate action, but also act as a deterrent from any adversary that may wish to harm that nation.
Yeah. Okay. No, brilliant. And so much more we could chat about.
Yes.
I know it's a busy day here. There's a lot going on the stand. So maybe we'll stop there and just say thanks very much for giving us that outline of it. And hopefully we'll see you again in 6 months.
See you in 6 months. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.